everybody? Um, this is day 18 of the stream of consciousness. Um, let's get right in action. First word, agglomerate. To form into a round, compact mass. Uh, uh, I start believing I have this theory that if I'm not constantly thinking verbally, I'm not stringing together sentences, I'm agglomerating blood in my brain because it's not flowing freely like a river. So this is why sometimes I like to string together sentences a lot with a lot of effort as an activity because it's a struggle for me and it's a challenge. But I don't want to have any agglomeration forming up here. Sometimes I catch myself lacking some thoughts for a few minutes. Um, I don't want any agglomeration, no agglomerating. So I try to string together some sentences. The push the blood flow up here in my mental. Next word, aggrandize, to enhance the status of, exalt. Uh, you could say sometimes there's a stigma that people like me only get aggrandized. Um, that's the stereotypical. A lot of people always think that it's a stereotype. Similar to when it happens. Yes, it happens in the world. It happened before. Some people get enhanced. They get exalted. Their status gets risen. So it happens. But it's not every single time. Everybody does not get aggrandized that look like me. Some people they independently hustle and made it on their own. They live in their own section, their own apartment, or their own house. But many do get aggrandized, yes. Many do get their status acclaimed and exalted to honorary, reputable repertoire. Um, but that's not always the case. Similar, like I said, like stereotypes, like white man can't jump, so white man not athletic, or the other thing, black man don't read, black man just steal. Like the stereotypes. It happens, yeah, because it's the world and it's as multiple people. You're gonna get the spectrum of badness and goodness, so it happens. But we always get aggrandized, like we always get the helping hand. That's not always the case. Um, and then if people say improve it, I mean, it's not that many of us as of right now. But if you do look around here and there, you see people old enough walking around still. So that means they're doing something in life successful. When you do come across us, but yeah, just scratch the eyebrows, man. But I don't really know. I don't really have a hand on the pulse of what's going on really. So I'm out the loop. I'm out the loop. So I'm only going by what I see as far as my eyes can see, literally. So yeah, but that stereotype, that's not always the case. Most stereotypes are never really true. It happens, obviously, so that's why they come up with that stereotype. But it's not always. Not everything is not always true. It's something that always defies the example, or it's something that always defies the absolute, the 100%. Like it always defies 100. That's why people say 99.9, 99%. It's never 100%. But yeah, aggrandize. We always get aggrandized. That's stereotype. Aggravate. To disturb the peace of mind of someone, especially by repeated disagreeable acts. Is irritate, aggravation. Uh, you could say me constantly losing in succession aggravates me. It's very aggravating and causes aggravation. But I try to abate and reduce the intensity of the aggravation by reminding myself I'm a red teddy bear. And teddy bears, what do? They absorb everything, they receive everything, they accept everything, they take in everything. And in turn, that's what makes them likable. That's what makes them like That's what makes them affable. That's what makes them acceptable in this world in a satisfactory way. Um, Not necessarily just meaning for love or warmth, but it's also for that reason. Also, uh, bears usually just bear. They usually receive. They usually hibernate. They curl themselves up and hibernate. Not all bears, but most of they hibernate. They get in they cave. They cave in. Like uh, so yeah. So as I do get aggravated a lot, I remind myself that's what I am. But I say red because there's moments and it's in the past. I kind of let out. I showed angry. I showed anger. And red. It usually symbolizes not always anger. It sometimes symbolizes love, but it also has a anger and a fire to red. Uh, I've shown just like how red shows. I've shown like to the visual. I've shown to the visual that there was anger at some parts. So that's why I have to add the red. But yeah, so aggravation. That's what I do. That's a method. That's a coping mechanism I do to myself to try to abate and reduce the intensity of aggravation and anger and rage by constantly reminding myself that they say you have to change your thinking patterns in order to make yourself feel better or uplift yourself or enlighten yourself or brighten your day or brighten your mood. You have to change your thinking patterns, and it's very challenging. It's very strenuous. It's very tiring. You try to constantly put effort in changing your neural pathways and not falling into the same trap every time when something you sense is putting you back into that trap pattern. It's very challenging to do, but you have to change your neuronic pathways. But yeah, next word, aggregate. No, aggregate, a complete amount of something, the whole. Uh, this is what I have to understand. Sometimes when there's a lot abundance, we tend to sometimes focus only on the things that are very provoking and emotionally evoking, meaning the things that like the surprising things. You focus on surprising things a lot, but when you look at the aggregate, the whole of it, you realize as many others normally in normality and functioning in all facets, functioning in all cylinders, clicking on all cylinders. The functionality is at an all time high. It's ultimate. It's ultimately superior. They got no problems, or if they do, they masquerade their problems really well. They're acquiescent. So you tend to focus on things that are surprising, where eyebrow rising. When you look at the aggregate, take a step back and look at the whole. You realize it's just a few things that you can spare. Just like how any other race, you sometimes see some that struggle, some unfortunate. You spare those, and you look at the aggregate, you see the rest, and they're all prosperous or they're all normal. I'm not saying that to say for everybody else, look at the aggregate and forget about the ones you spare, because I'm the one that falls in that category of the one you spare. So before people think, oh, he's just living good, he's just talking about people to spare, I'm about to be the person to spare. So I think I can be in the right of speaking about people to spare because I'm speaking for that side. And I'm being the bigger man, but not complaining about it or whining about it or crying about it. I'm actually being the bigger man in this situation, by saying, you look at the aggregate, look at the whole picture, the big picture, everything. You look at it like a statistical graph. Sometimes you get a flat line, and then you get an increase again. There's just many people. They're in high demand of things. They want high demand of things. And it takes patience. So that's why. And another reason why. Yeah, that's the reason why. Uh, oh yeah, another reason why is because we in one lifetime. So that's the other reason why. It's not like we're immortal in the same age. We can't fast forward things. So I'm being a bigger man in this situation also by being stepping in other people's shoes or just being other people's perspectives and their desires and wants. I'm being a bigger man in this situation also. I'm not always the bigger man in every situation. That's why I have to mention situation because I'm not always the bigger man. Not always. I'm not always, but in this situation, I'm being a bigger man. I think I should choose the high road in this situation. Be on my high horse. Next word, aggression, an inclination to fight or quarrel, belligerence, an inclination to fight or quarrel, aggression, aggressive, having or showing a bold forcefulness in the pursuit of a goal, aggressiveness, readiness to engage in daring or difficult activity. Uh, People could say sometimes I give off expressions and gestures that I'm aggressive and I have aggression and I'm giving off the inclination to fight or endanger myself in dangerous activities, which it can come off as that. But when really I leave it indeed on the court of a video game, I leave it indeed on the defense and then on offense. And if the games are not winning, if I'm not winning and I'm not winning in succession, then that's when you see a little bit of aggression as a reaction to my losses. It's not really coming off automatically, immediately, readily belligerent, ready to quarrel at any time because we all can be beat. So that's just a stupidity thing. That's just asking for suicide. If you're just walking out belligerent, ready to fight, because it don't take nothing to get at somebody. Now, if we're forming a group or a militia or a crew, now it's about who's outnumbered and who has the more tactical skills. Who's outnumbered or has the tactical and strategic skills to outsmart whoever has the more aggregate side. So it's a battle between that now. The smarts and the numbers. The smarts and the numbers. But if you go in just like a few people, like it don't take nothing to go at somebody with a few people. Like so, this is just suicide to just walk out like that. And then like, but that's if nobody wants to get involved. Now, if you about to get jumped or it's 1-on-1 and you beat that person, you beat that person. But if that person gets help or that person is not gone and he wants his revenge and he actually kills you, I mean, that's gonna be a sneak attack, an ambush. But other than that, like it really anybody can get touched, anybody can get killed. So there's no point of just automatically doing that. But everybody has the right to the decisions, and I'm not in the right. This is when I'm not in the right because I don't live in those conditions. So I'm not in the right to speak for people like that. But speaking for myself, I don't think that's a smart move for me to do because, like I said, when I do it, it's indeed it's in the action I'm doing. Either I'm rapping or I'm losing and I'm reacting to my losses. There's only really times I get belligerent and aggressive because I'm losing a lot in a row, and that's not normal in this 2K community. That's not normal to lose a lot. So I take it very serious. And then in raps, that's when I also show aggression here and there because I truly feel aggression a lot, but I have no way of letting it out sometimes. And it can get very tiring just holding it in all the time. They say use your tears, and sometimes I try to use my tears, but I don't want to tear right now because I don't know what's going on. I don't want to be caught crying. I think crying is a sign of weakness, but it's not really. All the time, it could be a sign of weakness, but here and there to cry, to tear up, it's a stress reliever. It relieves stress. It relieves the weight off your shoulders. But I don't want to be caught crying a lot, so I try to let it out. I try to get some weight off my shoulders, some burden off myself by rapping with some aggression because I mostly do feel it a lot. But yeah, I bear a lot, so that's why sometimes for the days, for all the times, all the seconds, all the breaths I take that I'm bearing a lot. Um, Here and there, I let out some of the aggression on the instrumental, some of the aggressiveness. The next word, aggressor, one that starts armed conflict against another, especially without reasonable cause. Uh, I see a lot of crimes happening, and it's been happening all the time. But now that I look into social media a little bit more, uh, I witness a lot of crimes on Instagram, but there's a lot of aggressors just attacking people randomly without a reason. Um, Everything has a reason, but it's no reasonable cause. There's no reasonable reason why. It's just a reason out of emotion, out of impulse. Uh, and this goes back to being the badness and the goodness. Who's good, who's bad, who's good, who's evil. Um, that always pissed me off, anyways. Aggressors always piss me off. But I think I also became an aggressor at some point of my life, sort of, not completely, sort of, because I actually had reasonable causes, but I had to change up my act myself. But yeah, this world is wild. Sometimes we're on Earth, and this includes me. Sometimes we're on Earth and we have no purpose, and that's what it needs to happen. Um, we have no sense of purpose. We just dropped on Earth. Um, and this goes back to what I'm saying: the people you can spare, and then the people of the aggregate, the whole. Um, so yeah, um, I have my ways of being an aggressor, or letting out my aggressiveness and aggressor, but I don't really physically harm anybody. But yeah, this world is very weird. Um, One way or another, we're bearing. It's just I can't see people. You know, people like, I see it now. I see it now. I just can't see through people. Like I think everybody is just like not bearing. Like unless you're like in poor conditions, then I know you're bearing. You're bearing with me. Um, but like I can't see through people. Like I can't see like other than people that are in impoverished conditions. I know they bearing. I'm bearing with you. I'm bearing with y'all. Uh, I'm a big bearer here. Um, so I'm bearing with y'all. Even when I'm in higher conditions than y'all, I'm still bearing with y'all. Because one reason is a difference. You're living lower than me, and then in my head, that's a threat automatically. Cause I know you're pissed because you're living lower than me. So now every day I gotta wake up and be like, I got this thing lower than me. Uh, this thing could try to attack me or be an aggressor now. So I'm bearing automatically off that. And then second off, this comes to my average Joe type of thing. That's actually a good look for you still because now you're living through a struggle, and that's appealing to a lot of people. So I'm being honest here, like I'm bearing with y'all. I'm being honest. This is why I had to explain why I'm bearing with y'all still. But I know I'm calm a little because I know you're bearing. Like you're visually showing you're bearing. I know you bearing. There's no way you're not bearing. You compare this to this. I know you bearing. So it's like I'm bearing with y'all, but I'm always bearing, and I had to explain that real quick. Um, but I have a very kind. I have the bottom of my heart. I still have kindness, and I feel bad still. But I'm bearing with y'all still. And then for those that are not in an impoverished state, I just can't see through people. Like I don't know what they bearing. Yeah, I'm always bearing. It's not a time I'm not bearing. Almost every integrated into interpersonal connections with human beings. When it comes to any connection with a human being, I'm bearing always. I'm always bearing with any connection with a human being. When I'm connecting with an animal or a plant, I'm not bearing anymore. Any connection with a human being, I'm the one bearing at all times. That's why I call myself the red teddy bear. But yeah, the aggressor. This usually happens when we don't have a sense of purpose for the most part. Um, I mean, even when we do get a job, we still don't find a sense of purpose. We just work in a job, but our mind is wandering into something malicious thoughts. And sometimes it's hard to find a sense of purpose. Sometimes we never find a sense of purpose. That's why we gotta be careful and be aware and beware of our surroundings and who we try to communicate with. But yeah, aggressor. Next word, aggrieved. Having a feeling that one has been wronged or thwarted in one's ambitions. Having a feeling that one has been wronged or thwarted in one's ambitions. Nah, I don't be feeling aggrieved. Nah. I don't be feeling like I'm wrong. Like I said, I just be bearing every connection with a human being. I don't feel like I'm wrong. Nobody did me wrong. Like everything is normal. It's just the red teddy bear. Um, so I don't really feel aggrieved though. On jokes aside, I don't feel aggrieved. I don't feel hurt. I don't feel like I'm wrong, not in any shape or form. Um, I have an understanding. Uh, just yeah. Uh, I just can't. I just can't take the weight off myself. That's the only problem. I got everything. I got everything down right. I got the understanding. I got the understand. I got the understanding, acceptance. It's just the weight is still is weighing down on me still. That's all. That's all. Um, that's why. That's all. The weight is still weighing down on me. I just can't feel uplifted. But I got everything else right. I got everything else correct and right. I got the understanding I accept. I behave, control myself. Um, for the most part, uh, it's just I just can't get the weight off myself. Like I'm just carrying a bunch of weight, a bunch of burdens, bearing like. But I'm never aggrieved. Next word, aghast, filled with fear or dread, afraid. Um, People say I'm gassed, meaning I'm something seeming good than what it actually is. Overrated. Gas, right? I said gas. So now I have to. I feel this is the only time I feel a gas. I feel a gas not because of a human. I feel a gas because filled with fear or dread. I feel a gas because I have to do the action, and I have a lot of uncertainty on achieving that action. And this is what I come back to: people with sense of purpose and the people you spare. Uh, oh, you can't do it, or he doesn't do it in a satisfactory way, or an acceptable way, or a professional way. You got to spare him. Um, Instead of like sort of like intensive care, uh, you got to spare. You got to spare this. You got to spare that instead. I say intensive care uh, like it takes patience for most things to do. I'm not even thinking about a surgeon or doctors or any specialist in the hospital. But for other jobs, it takes patience. Um, Sometimes some don't get it the first time, the second time, the third time, the fifth time. It takes a few repetitions for them to get it through. Uh, yeah, I guess agile, agile. moving easily, agility, ease and grace in the physical activity. Uh, you can say externally, I'm not really as agile, but internally, I'm agile internally. I'm moving very easily internally. Uh, Everything is flowing at an expeditious rate, at a high rate, at a fast rate. Uh, and then only if I had that internally transmuted externally with the agility, then I'll be going places, moving on to bigger and better things. That's agile agility. Aging, being of advanced years and especially past middle age, elderly. Um, I'm only aging here. Time is starting to creep up on me. Uh, my days are marked now. My days are getting numbered slowly. It's getting to the end. Uh, the biggest question is, can he make it over? Uh, can he hop over one cliff to the other cliff? Uh, that's the big question as I'm aging. Agitate, to cause as a liquid to move about in a circle, especially repeatedly. Stir, agitated, being in a state of increased activity or agitation, feverish. Agitating, marked by or causing agitation or uncomfortable feelings. Agitation, a state of wildly excited activity or emotion. Agitator, a person who stirs up public feelings, especially of discontent. So not agitate, agitator, agitated. Uh, the barista at the bar was agitating a concoction of alcohol while while an agitator was speaking foully to the barista, uh, with foul, insulting, abusive language to the barista, and made the barista agitated and caused a frenzy between the barista and the customer at the bar, full of agitation. Uh, Next thing you know, people had to stop the agitation and separate the two, uh, to not cause any more disturbance to the bar. Uh, a glow, having or being an outward sign of good feelings, as of love, confidence, or happiness. Radiant. Um, this is a very tough thing to do. As I read the definition, it's a tough thing to be at all times, to be a glow. Even when you're low, even when things are not going your way, even when things seem to fall apart, to be a glow, to show love, to show confidence, to show happiness at every time. The outward of you, no matter what's going on inward, the outward of you is showing love at all times and happiness and confidence and positivity. That's a very challenging thing to do. I'm not gonna lie. It's a very challenging thing to do. See, when I was young, I didn't really. I'm talking young, young. I was a glow. I was a child. I was a glow. Uh, I was always showing outward signs of love, um, and happiness and brightness. But as I grew, I can't seem to show that outwardness like willingly. I can't willingly show that every time. I feel reluctant. Now I'm feeling reluctant to do it. I'm gritting my teeth as I do that. Uh, I feel like I'm faking it. Like, but then I remind myself, okay, you're faking it, but what do you get out of showing outward appearance of being mad? Like, it's the same situation. It might even get worse for you. Uh, so it's just a very challenging thing to do. I'm gonna just submit that right there. Um, I'm just submit being like trying to be a glow, showing the outward of that every time. Very, it's a tough thing to do. Even when you feel like your nerves been striked to the finest core, when you feel like you can't swallow no more of your anger, you keep bottled up all the anger you can, and you still show like at all times to the point you feel like you're killing yourself, and you still be in the glow. Uh, Tough thing to do. A dog, having or showing signs of eagerly awaiting something. A dog. Uh, like I said, I'm not in the loop of things. Uh, so I only have ideas and wonders in this day and age. Um, I only have ideas sometimes. I get ideas like maybe this is happening or maybe that's happening. Uh, like I said, but I do know things in high demand. Uh, Things are in high demand. Uh, a lot of people are agog for what they're expecting. Um, and they mean it. They mean it. What they expecting. Uh, so I'm in a point of view of those that expected things. Um, and this is when it comes back to being a glow. Your outward, no matter what's going on inward, your outward has to be positive. Uh, Even that's another thing. Bring it back to that a glow thing. Even when you feel like you're being aggrieved, you're being wronged. Sometimes I do be feeling wrong actually, but not like to the point I'm about to cry, but wrong like I'm about to snap, or I'm about to respond. Not a glow, negatively. Sometimes I'll be feeling wrong. Sometimes like, and it make me like not want to be a glow anymore. Um, and in terms that causes confusion because people don't think they're doing anything wrong. Um, or maybe they do, maybe they don't really feel like they're doing anything wrong. So when I react, not a glow, that makes them like you're not showing an outward sign of love. So why would I show a sign of love? So that causes a disagreement and disconcertation. And this is why I just scratch my head. I'm not in the loop of things. But yeah, so that agog is what people expect, um, and they expect goodness, nothing but goodness. Badness usually gets corrected, or it gets jailed, or it gets shunned. Um, it's either you either get corrected, you get jailed, or you get shunned, or ignored. Uh, that's pretty much it. That's what happens in this world when it's badness. And badness can be in any form. It could be your behavior, it could be your abilities, your prowess, your talents. If it's badness, uh, your deeds, uh, your generosity. If it's all badness, it usually leads to badness. The world does not reward badness in any shape or form, and I realized that. And you would think, okay, so then be good. Like, why would you want to be rewarded? Be good. But this is what I'm really trying to explain to people. Being a glow is really challenging, and this is what I'm trying to explain to people. People are like, he just mentioned that he young. You bro, that's why you mentioned that you young. You was giving things. I'm trying to explain to people. Listen, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? When I was young, I didn't have this issue. I didn't have anger issues. I always get angry, but I didn't have this anger issue I have. Like, this is really challenging. Like, I really try to not like be bad. Like, it's really challenging. Like, this shit is ridiculous. Like, I really just like, I never had this issue before. Um, but reading the definition, it's like I take it as a challenge. Like, when I take things as challenges, I guess that makes me uh, uh, challenges I think are feasible or achievable. Uh, it makes me want to do the challenge. Uh, but like I said, it's very challenging, man. It's very arduous, uh, very mountainous. Yeah, agonize, to cause persistent suffering, afflict, agonizing, hard to accept or bear, especially emotionally. Agonizing. Uh, these are the last words of today's stream of consciousness. Uh, you can say, as soon as people speak, as soon as I wake up, it's agonizing, a hard truth to bear. Uh, there's always somebody else. That's the hard truth to bear. Um, and sometimes in this world, I realize the truth. Like, some people, they're meant for this world. This world was really meant for them. And some people are put on earth as a lesson to be learned from wherever they came from before. Um, because one thing that bothers me and agonizes me and causes me, is agonizing and agonizes me, may not agonize anybody else. It may not afflict them at all whatsoever. And that's why I truly mean this world is for y'all. And this is what I was also saying about bearing with me and um, who's bearing. I can't see through people. Like, no, I don't feel like anybody's agonized. Nobody has any hard truth to bear. Nobody's bearing besides the poor. Me and the poor are only bearing in this world. And I'm not even in the poor section, well, not just yet. I will actually be in the poor very soon, or maybe worse than the poor, actually, by the way. But yeah, me and the poor really just bearing, um, I would suppose. So it's just like agonizing, like, I feel like I'm mostly the only one with the hard truth to bear. I know my people's in the third world war, the third world countries. I know they agonize. They having that agonizing truth to bear. Uh, but I'm never aggrieved. I don't feel wrong because of this. That's just very obvious. You telling me nobody else could be birthed? Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, nobody else could be birthed. That's like me only. It's like me. It's like Adam and Eve. It's like I'm Adam and I met Eve. And Eve was like, I want to make more. I want to make more babies. And I'm denying Eve. Like, no, it's just me and you. Like, like, be real. Like what? That's selfish of me, right? So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, this world is meant for many people. That was made for this world. And I'm not saying y'all been given anything. Y'all work hard for everything. Yes. But like y'all made, like, we decide, like, let's say we even have to work. We just wake up sometimes and like don't even work just yet. Like, or we all got a job. We all do the same job. We all in uniforms, the same uniforms. Like, this world is meant for y'all. Y'all don't feel the same agonizing as me. Um, that's what I meant by this world. I'm not trying to just surrender or anything. It's just literally like that truth for others. Other people could be birthed. Other people could be better. I don't afflict other people. Or maybe it does. Ah, man. But that's it for today, folks. Hope you have a nice, hope you have a blessed, hope you have a great, hope you have a good day. Uh, I see you guys in the next one tomorrow. Saturday, I'll be at work. After work, I'll be doing the stream of consciousness. Uh, Day 19, stream of consciousness. Day 19, page 19. Um, salute, peace out of peace. Salute.